I don't know, I want this pizza. So this is what it sounds like when I completely ignore English pronunciation. Not many native speakers would understand this, right? So then how to sound like a native? Is it the secret tip I got from my native grandpa? Or is it a language genius? Or watching Harry Potter? No. Improving pronunciation as a non-native speaker is entirely possible, and it's not something people are simply born with, but rather a skill that can be developed with practice. Without this awareness, however, many people might continue to speak with noticeable accent. Personally, I do not speak perfect English, and my pronunciation is a mix of British and American accents due to my educational background. Yet I have occasionally been mistaken for native speaker, and native speakers seem to generally understand me, right? I hope. So today I will share the methods I have tried and have worked for me. Hi, I'm Ause. I'm a graduate of architecture study who earned 3 degrees in 3 different continents in the past 4 years, and I share my experiences and insights from books and research and my own journey. In this channel, I share what I have learned along the way and what I continue to learn. So if this interests you, consider subscribing. Natives speak with combined sounds. Have you ever noticed that native speakers don't always pronounce every letter in a word? Instead, they combine sounds, focusing on syllables rather than full, distinct letters. Native speakers simplify their pronunciation by focusing on syllables rather than pronouncing every single letter. So this makes everyday language easier and faster to speak. It's not laziness, it's just how natural spoken English works. So I don't know is I don't know. Could you please is could you please. You can think of it as a shortcut. Instead of enunciating every sound, native speakers combine or drop sounds to create a smooth and natural flow. If you want to sound more like a native, focus on shortening and combining sounds in your speech. Start small, and with practice, this will feel natural over time. The sounds in the language English has some unique sounds that doesn't exist in every language, which can make them tricky to learn if they aren't part of your native language. Some English sounds like the or are might be completely new to you depending on your language background. Every language has its own alphabet and sound family. For instance, Japanese uses a lot of vowel sounds, but the sound doesn't exist at all. This can make it harder to recognize or pronounce certain English words. In Japanese, the closest sound to the is often S or Z sound, so this is why think might come out as sink or zinc. If you're learning English, be aware that you will need to train yourself to recognize and produce sounds that might feel completely unfamiliar. The good news? There are specific techniques and resources to help you master these new sounds. Here's something important. The better you can pronounce a sound, the better you can hear it. Your ability to hear and understand spoken English improves as your pronunciation improves. When you learn how a word is pronounced both technically and sound-wise, you start to recognize it more easily in conversations. This is because your brain connects the sound with the way the word is formed. For instance, take the word practice. When you break it down into sounds, practice, and understand how your mouth should move, it becomes easier to recognize when someone says it quickly in a sentence. Once you have mastered the correct pronunciation, you will not only sound clearer, but you will also be able to understand what others are saying more accurately. So these 3 basic principles, combining sounds, learning new sounds, and linking pronunciation and hearing, are the foundation of sounding more like a native speaker. By focusing on 3 areas and practicing consistently, you will start to notice big improvement in both how you speak and how you understand English. Now let's dive into how to learn pronunciation effectively. To improve your pronunciation, you need a structured approach. Here are 3 proven methods that worked for me, and I believe they will work for you too. Use a book to master individual sound. The first step is to learn how to pronounce each sound in English correctly by understanding how to use your mouth, tongue, and facial muscles. English words are collections of distinct sounds, and even though some sounds are shortened or eliminated in casual speech, mastering the basics is essential. For instance, a book dedicated to teaching pronunciation will guide you on the exact positions of your tongue and lips for each sound. I found this method incredibly effective. I completed a book that walked me through every individual sound, and it completely changed the way I understand English pronunciation. I made it part of my daily routine, using time blocking to focus on one sound at a time. Over time, my grasp of word construction and pronunciation improved significantly. And dedicate a small portion of your day to learning and practicing these sounds. Consistency matters more than duration, so even 15 or 20 minutes a day can make a big difference. Compare and distinguish similar sounds. Once you have built a foundation, the next step is to compare similar sounds and train your ears to recognize subtle differences. Use English language text with CDs or videos that includes pronunciation exercises. Then pay attention to minimal pairs, words that differ by only one sound, such as but and bet, or think and think. Practice distinguishing these sounds by saying them out loud and listening carefully to recordings. After completing step 1, you'll be surprised at how much you better can hear and replicate these subtle differences. It's like unlocking a new level of understanding in your listening skills. Mimic native speakers in real-time shadowing is one of the most powerful techniques to improve your pronunciation and fluency. By mimicking native speakers, you will train your ears to pick up on sounds, rhythms, and intonations that you might otherwise miss. So repeating after native speakers helps you internalize sentence structure, rhythms, and emotional tone, making your speech more natural. Start simple, so begin with easy phrases and short sentences. Gradually, then work your way up to longer and more complex conversations. And what's important is to feel the emotion of the speakers. So pay attention to the speaker's tone and intent. Are they happy? Are they excited? Are they angry? And try to match their emotion in your voice. And then practice repeatedly. Choose one clip and repeat it several times until you can mimic the speaker's pronunciation and intonation closely, and then stick with it. Shadowing isn't a quick fix. It requires consistent effort over weeks and months. Choose audio materials or videos you enjoy and match your skill level. For example, podcasts or movies or YouTube videos can be great resources, and use free online tools and resources to find content tailored to your interest. And finally, be patient with yourself. It's normal to struggle at first, but persistence pays off. With regular shadowing, you will notice significant improvements in how you speak and understand English. It trains both your listening and speaking skills simultaneously, and practicing with 3 times faster audio can enhance your skills and make it much easier for you to understand conversations in real life. And it's important to remember that you don't need to hear and catch every single sound in a sentence to understand it. Native speakers often skip or blend sound, and as you practice, your brain will start to fill in the gaps. The more you practice pronunciation and listening, the easier this becomes. And here's some final thoughts. By combining these three methods, mastering individual sounds, comparing and distinguishing similar sounds, and using shadowing, you will develop clear and natural English pronunciation over time. It's not about perfection, it's about consistent progress. So start small, stay consistent, and trust that process. And you got this. If you're interested in learning English, check out this video where I explain how to learn English efficiently and effectively. Thank you for watching, and bye!